How did McCulloch v. Maryland establish implied powers? Imagine a nation where the powers of the federal government are not only defined by the Constitution but also extend beyond explicit words to include necessary and proper actions. This case, McCulloch v. Maryland, fundamentally shaped the balance of power between state and federal authorities. It all began when the United States Congress created a national bank to help manage the country's finances. The state of Maryland, seeking to assert its sovereignty, imposed a tax on the bank, aiming to restrict its operations within its borders. James McCulloch, a cashier at the Baltimore branch of the Bank of the United States, refused to pay the tax, arguing that the state lacked the authority to tax a federal institution. The case was brought before the Supreme Court to resolve this conflict. Chief Justice John Marshall delivered the opinion of the court, emphasizing that the Constitution grants Congress certain powers explicitly, but also allows for implied powers that are necessary to execute its constitutional responsibilities. Marshall explained that the Constitution grants Congress the authority to establish a national bank because it is a means to carry out other enumerated powers, such as regulating commerce, collecting taxes, and managing the economy. The court reasoned that the power to create a bank was implied because it was a convenient and necessary tool to achieve these constitutional objectives. The court also reaffirmed the principle that the federal government's powers are supreme over state laws when conflicts arise, establishing the doctrine of federal supremacy. Furthermore, the ruling clarified that the government has implied powers that are not explicitly listed but are essential for implementing its constitutional functions. This interpretation provided a broad scope for federal authority, enabling Congress to pass laws and create institutions to fulfill its constitutional duties effectively. The decision in McCulloch v. Maryland became a cornerstone for expanding federal power and clarified that the Constitution grants implied powers through the necessary and proper clause, which states that Congress has the authority to pass laws deemed necessary and proper for executing its enumerated powers. This case set a precedent that has influenced countless legal decisions and reinforced the idea that the federal government can adapt to new challenges by exercising implied powers, as long as they are in pursuit of constitutional objectives.